I'm Stuart Thompson, I'm editor of Digital TV Europe. I'm here at Angacom with Jason Briggs, who's president of RDK Management. Jason, let's start by reminding everyone a little bit about how RDK fits into the scheme of things for operators. Can you tell us a little bit about what RDK is and what its benefits are?
Sure, yeah. So RDK is an open source software platform for customer premise equipment, typically deployed by operators globally. It sits on top of chipsets and provides common ways for these devices to operate. So if you think about it, we have a video profile, as we call it, which commonizes common video elements that a set-top box would typically provide, like a tuning stack and DRM interfaces and things along those lines. We have a broadband profile, as we call it, or RDK-B, and it commonizes functions within the Wi-Fi gateway, so Wi-Fi stack, routing, things like that are fairly generic and germane to that device. And then we also have a camera stack, an IP camera stack that, again, same concept. We genericize a lot of the common IP camera elements. And underlying all of that, we have a layer of what we call device management and telemetry. And it's a common layer that underlines all of these stacks. And that's important because it allows operators that may deploy all of these three a common way to basically manage the equipment on their network, manage the data that equipment provides, and also kind of bring that data together into a common picture of services for their customers. And so the RDK, as I said, is open source, so it's a royalty-free software license. And essentially, if you take it up at a very high level, it allows technology companies and operators to develop services independent of the hardware layer. You can develop it with the RDK and then use that to port across different chipsets and OEM hardware.
Can you provide a recap about recent RDK adoption worldwide?
Yeah, so right now we're deployed at well over 80 million devices, RDK devices globally, and we're actually going to provide an update later this year with a new statistic there. It's deployed at over 30 operators, again globally, North America, Europe, Latin America, and Asia Pac. We have over 500 members in the RDK community, so these are tech companies from silicon vendors to OEMs to systems integrators to even app companies that all work together on a common RDK. And so it's a great, vibrant community we built over years and years, and even over the last several years with COVID, the community has actually innovated and developed a lot of great new innovation remotely, if you will, from home. On the video side, with a new application development language, we have a new video stack that we introduced. And on the broadband side, we introduced a way to take the RDK-B profile across multiple access types, so PON, DSL, DOCSIS, and other types to commonize and harmonize the network and the software that goes across the broadband network.
Now you have some operators with big global footprints. One of them is Deutsche Telekom. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing with them?
Yeah. So Deutsche Telekom announced publicly that they are using RDK broadband for all of their broadband Wi-Fi gateways across all of Europe, which is fantastic. I think the really interesting piece of this announcement is that they're deploying RDK broadband across their DOCSIS footprint, their GPON footprint, and their DSL footprint, which is fantastic for us. I think the thing that's relevant and why this matters and what they said in their release is it allows them a more consistent way to support customers, a more consistent way to support the telemetry and the data those devices provide, so they can provide essentially a harmonized customer experience regardless of the access type. So it's really great for the RDK community, it's great for us, and they've been fantastic partners and leaders within the RDK community the last several years.
Now, one of your more recent RDK community announcements was with AirTies and their contribution of EasyMesh. Can you tell us about that and how it benefits the community?
Yeah. So our community members have always wanted an EasyMesh solution for the broadband gateway, a mesh management solution. In a way, EasyMesh is very familiar and very similar to RDK. meaning that you can have an open standard and mix and match kind of chipsets in OEM devices, and that's, again, very common to RDK, so that's why it's very appealing to the operators. And so our announcement is a pre-integration of their Easy Mesh controller to RDK and an opening of that controller to the RDK community to use it. And so why that matters from an RDK perspective, an operator perspective, is we're going to reduce the integration time and the time spent doing those bespoke integrations across multiple hardware stacks, so that then operators can focus on more important things, like how do you manage a Wi-Fi mesh network? How do you control how the mesh network works back and forth? So we think it's a really great development for us and for AirTies, and it's a great thing for the entire community.
Now, there's also been a lot of recent progress within the RDK community on video and set-top boxes. Can you provide a bit of a recap on that and what's been going on there?
Yeah, as I alluded to, over the last couple of years, we had a lot of advancements in the video side of the software stack. For one, we've introduced a new stack that helps operators basically leverage and bring up new services and features much faster. In addition to that, we introduced a new language we call app development language. We call it Lightning, and it's a very high-performant, efficient language to develop applications designed especially for a set-top box type environment where you don't have the unlimited memory, the unlimited processing power that you may say on a PC or mobile phone. So that is a really exciting development for the community. We've announced a partnership with DTVE Kit separately to bring their DVB stack together with RDK, again creating a pre-integration for operators that want a hybrid IP set-top box solution and a DVB solution to marketplace. And as well as we've had announcements at the end of last year with Netflix announcing their new DaVinci program with a number of our RDK partners like a CommScope, Realtek, Amlogic, and Skyworth to bring a kind of a pre-integrated Netflix solution to their RDK device profiles. So a lot going on, I think, in the video side of the business right now, and it's really exciting.
Now, finally, what's ahead for the RDK community this year? And also, could you tell us a little bit about how our viewers can stay connected and keep up to date?
Yeah, so this year our expectation is more partnerships, more deployments, more adoption of RDK. We're continuing to see that every year, so we'll continue to see that throughout the year this year. We have a number of summits we do online, both hybrid and in person, but we're going to have a lot of more online content to understand how to use the RDK and get new developments of what's going on there. We do have an annual global summit that we do in Amsterdam right around IBC in the September timeframe. So that is our marquee event for the year. So we're looking forward to finally having it in person this year, which is fantastic, later on in September. And then finally, the easiest way to get involved is go to rdkcentral.com, www.rdkcentral.com, and it can guide you any way you want to go with the RDK.
Jason, thanks very much.
Thank you.